Hello and welcome to English class of Standard 11. We have already completed explanation of the poem There is Another Sky. Today we will be completing brainstorming of the poem There is Another Sky. Imagine your sister is not paying attention to her studies and is seen wasting time playing games on her cell phone. Suggest some ways that will help her to concentrate on her studies and overcome her bad habit. So, whole lot of explanation is given. The cell phone has become a menace. Just like many teenagers, this device for communication has become a tool for entertainment. You too have become a victim of this craze. You have to realize that the phone has a primary use, that is to communicate. The secondary use is as an entertainment. Recreation is only after one's primary duties are done. And so on, you are going to write and explain. You can go through the answer and just find out how it is explained, and you can try to express the same in your own words. This is the continuation of the last slide, and you are going to conclude it by saying that do try to get away and do not waste your precious time in playing games on the mobile phone and try to use your time more fruitfully. I hope you will heed suggestions before it is too late and regret it. You have noticed that many of your classmates are not interested in outdoor games or participating in co-curricular activities. Discuss some ways in which they will be encouraged to participate in activities. Attending an educational institution is not only for studies or obtaining good marks. The institution also offers many ways to develop all-round personality in students. The college has excellent teams and coaches for basketball, kho and table tennis. Our college has been able to win the state championship in. So likewise, you are going to mention all the things about sports and encourage the students to join the co-curricular activities. This is the continuation of the last slide, and again you can go through this and understand how to write the explanation of the last question. Here we have to complete the web diagram highlighting the sad and the gloomy aspects of life mentioned in the first part of the poem. That is, what kind of life is mentioned in the poem, the sad and the gloomy one. You have to write that. Sad and the gloomy aspects of life in the left hand side cloud, and the branches of it you are going to write the aspects. What does it display or what does it show? Darkness, faded dull and silent life. This activity, it asks us to make a list of expressions in the poem that mean encouragement. Brighter garden, unfading flowers, hum of bright bee, all these expressions show encouragement from the poem. The poet has described two different shades of human feelings by using imagery of various forces of nature in the poem. Pick out the terms or phrases that describe them, that is, that describe imagery. Complete the table given below. One is done for you, that is, first one, faded forests. It gives us the feeling of sadness and gloomy. Then silent fields. It gives us the feeling of dullness, loneliness. Sunshine, the feeling it gives is of hope. I hear the bright bee hum. The poet has used the word hum that indicates the sound made by the bee. This is an example of onomatopoeia. The poet has used different figures of speech like alliteration, inversion, and hyperbole in the poem. Identify them and pick out the lines accordingly. First one, the example of hyperbole is another sky. Another sky is an example of hyperbole. There cannot be another sky, but the poet means to convey that here is a better place to be than at the other place. To convey the marked difference, the poet exaggerated it by using the phrase another sky. No place can ever or always be serene. that is perfect, or green or no flowers can always remain unfaded. She may be referring to heaven, so the poet uses hyperbole to mark the difference here and there. Let us see the example of alliteration. The poet calls the forest faded forest. She also says the bright bees hums in her garden. The adjacent words beginning with F and B are the examples of alliteration. Inversion. Let's see the example of inversion. Emily Dickinson describes a place where not a frost has been, which would be read as where a frost has not been. She also invites her brother Austin to "Into my garden come", which would otherwise be read as "Come into my garden". So these are the examples of inversion. The poem expresses the feelings of serenity. Pick out expressions from the above poem that expresses the same. There is another sky, ever serene and fair. So this is the example which gives us the feeling of serenity. It is the expression that gives us the feeling of serenity. Next question is compare and contrast the two opposing human feelings as expressed by the poet. Firstly, she expresses, the poet describes that the garden there where her brother is to be in the darkness. The garden may be understood as the situation or the circumstances he is in. It is darkness there and he is lonely, hopeless situation is there. The garden is also called as faded forest or silent fields. And then the poet is speaking of the place that is another sunshine. It is serene and fair. It is evergreen. It has a brighter garden. It has unfading flowers and the place where she can hear the bright bee humming. So all these are the positive sides. In all, the other place is colorful and lively where one can feel very much hopeful. She pleads with her brother to come to her garden and probably he should come back home. Never mind faded forest, Austin. The word faded means to become dim or faint. The word describes the forests that have become faint or dim in appearance. Now go through the poem again and complete the table. Describing word fade. It is the object given here is forest. Explanation is the forest have become faint or dim in appearance. Silent fields. The field is silent and lonely. Unfading flowers. The flowers are fresh and colorful. Bright bee. The bees hum around the fragrant flowers. Like this, the describing word and the explanation is given. Imagine your friend is a table tennis champion who has won the semi-finals in the intercollegiate championship, but due to overconfidence she is neither practices nor does she take her opponent seriously. This may result in her losing the final. Suggest some ways to make her aware of the importance of hard work and regular practice. You need to follow a proper letter writing format and you have to write a letter to your friend with the subject given to you. Just go through it and you will get the idea of how you are going to write the letter. Use the following points and write an appreciation of the poem. You all know that how we are going to write the appreciation. First there will be about the poem, poet and title, theme, poetic style, language, poetic devices used in it in the poem, special features, message, values, morals in the poem, your opinion about the poem. All these points need to be covered while writing the appreciation of the poem. A complete appreciation of the poem is given to you. About the poem, first point you will be writing it. Write the complete details about the poem. Then write the theme of the poem. Write about the poetic style, language, poetic devices used in the poem as given here in the slide. Write about the special features of the poem. Just go through it and you will get the idea. We all know that the message of hope is given in the poem. The poem to and it encourages the poet's brother to come back home. It is the message to her brother, and so on. You can write the message, and also this shows that the poet was concerned about the well-being of her sibling, that is her brother. Lastly, you can give your own opinion in your own words. Write the summary of the poem with the help of the points given below. You have to take the help of the points like title, introductory paragraph, main body, conclusion, opinions, and you have to write the summary of the poem. You can go through this slide and understand how the summary of the poem is to be written. You can write it in your own words. Let's compose a poem. 2 lines are given, add 2 of your own. There is another sky, ever serene and fair. The setting sun has colored a dye as he sinks into his lair. Now here you have to make your own lines. You have to compose the lines, and then you have to see that there is the rhyme scheme maintained, and you have to write 2 more lines after the lines given to you. Here is yet another interesting activity. A poem is given to you, Blue Sky by Mark Hastings. Imagine a poem of similar kind by replacing the word blue. You have to replace the word blue and you have to fill some another word. Starry sky above me, cloudy sky above me. These are the words you can fill. Rat race above me, rat race below me. Also you can change it in this way. And you can continue with the poem. Go through it, you will understand what changes are to be done. This is yet another part of writing skill. You need to write a letter to your sibling. You have to make your sibling aware of various man-made and natural disasters and encourage her to join all the programs, campaigns, drives, etc. in the school or your locality. You just have to maintain the format of informal letter writing and you have to write the letter. You can go through the letter and you will understand how the subject is to be covered. You can give words of advice in the last paragraph, and finally you can conclude the letter as given here. The poem describes the beauty of nature. Make a list of careers that are related to nature, environment and forest. The first one is given to you here, forest department. It is the career that is available in forest department is that of forest officer, ranger, etc. Likewise, you just find out which careers are available which are related to nature, environment and forest. This is the last activity. 2 names of the poems are suggested to you. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost and O Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman. These are inspirational poems. You search these poems on internet and write down your opinion about the poems in your notebook. This you have to do it by your own. With this we will conclude the brainstorming part of the poem There's Another Sky. Thanks for watching. Meet you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.